dusk settles on the mountain lake. Ice reaches the tea house pilings. A single lantern glows under the eaves. The pass road disappears behind snow pines. This is the last warm room before the ridge. Steam gathers softly behind paper screens. The frozen shore gives back a faint pearl light. Outside, the wooden sign hangs from two black hooks. Its painted letters have worn thin at the bottom. Snow has collected along the upper edge. The porch boards run toward the lake. Fine powder lies between the planks. A broom mark curves away from the door. Under the outer bench, a covered water bucket waits in a wooden hoop. Ice has formed around its lower rim. A tin dipper leans against the lid. The handle catches the lantern in one brief amber line. The covered wood gives out a faint cedar scent. Beside the threshold, straw sandals sit in a shallow tray. Their woven soles are dry. A few grains of snow have melted near one heel. The door panel slides open by a narrow gap. Warm air presses through it. It carries roasted rice, cedar smoke, and clean wool. Inside, the entrance room lowers the world at once. Dark beams cross above the matting. A clay lamp colors the plaster with amber. The main room opens toward the frozen lake. 3 paper panels face the water. Their lower frames have darkened from many winters. Beyond the paper, the ice is not white. It is blue in the hollows. It is gray where wind has polished it flat. Far out, a crack travels under the surface. It bends like a quiet road. Moonlight fills only its thinnest edges. The tea house answers with small warmth. A sunken hearth glows in the center. Ash forms soft hills around a low charcoal bed. An iron kettle hangs above it from a chain. The kettle is round and black. A faint breath of steam rises from the spout. The chain climbs into shadow under a roof beam. Tiny soot marks circle the hook. The marks look older than the current snow. Around the hearth, square cushions wait on tatami mats. Deep indigo cloth covers 2 of them. The third has a repaired seam of pale thread. A low table stands near the lake-facing panels. Its surface has been wiped clean. One bowl rests at the center. The bowl is thick stoneware. Green glaze gathers inside the rim. A line of heat fogs the inner curve. Beside it, a bamboo scoop lies on folded linen. Its handle points toward the hearth. The linen holds a single dark tea stain. A lacquer tray carries 3 cups. Each cup is turned upright. Their rims catch firelight in uneven rings. Behind the table, a tokonoma alcove holds a hanging scroll. The paper shows one winter branch. Black ink thins toward the tip. Below the scroll, a small vase holds pine needles. Their shadows reach across the plaster. One needle has fallen onto the cedar ledge. Near the corner, shelves carry jars of tea. Brown paper covers the lids. Red string binds each folded edge. Small labels name mountain barley, roasted green tea, snow chrysanthemum. The ink varies from jar to jar. Some names have been written twice. A cabinet below the shelves has sliding doors of pale wood. One door sits slightly uneven in its track. The handle hollow shines from use. At the far side of the room, a narrow passage leads to the preparation nook. A blue curtain covers half the opening. Steam has softened its lower hem. Through the gap, a stone basin can be seen. Water rests in the basin like dark glass. A wooden ladle lies across the rim. The floor near the basin has a different sound. Boards replace tatami there. They have absorbed many years of careful steps. Back in the main room, the hearth gives a muted red pulse. It does not flare, it only deepens around the charcoal. The kettle breathes again. Steam touches the iron handle. Then it loosens into the dark beam above. Outside, the frozen lake stretches beyond the panels. The ice reflects the lantern under the eaves. That small reflection trembles in one pale oval. Pines stand at the shore with snow on every branch. Their black trunks divide the blue evening. The tallest tree leans toward the roof. A cloth ledger rests near the cabinet. Its pages record travelers from past winters. Names, dates, weather, direction. The final line reads North Pass closed. A brush lies beside the ledger on a ceramic rest. Its bristles are washed and pointed. A faint ring of ink darkens the rest. Near the paper panels, a narrow sill carries a row of smooth stones. They were taken from the summer shore. Now each stone cools under winter light. One has a white stripe around its middle. Another is almost black. The smallest sits in a chipped porcelain dish. The room holds all of this in a slow circle. Lake, fire, tea, paper, snow. Each part makes the others quieter. A small gust moves along the outer wall. Snow dust slips from the eaves. The sound reaches the room as a soft scratch. The lantern steadies after it. The kettle releases another thin thread. The steam drifts toward the paper panels. It pales where the lake light enters. The hearth lowers into a deeper red. The mountain outside turns almost blue. The room has become a small harbor for warmth. Every matte edge leads back to the fire. The frozen lake presses its quiet against the screens. Near the passage, the blue curtain lifts once at the hem. A draft has found the preparation nook. It carries the scent of cold stone. Inside the nook, shelves are lower and darker. Iron hooks hold ladles, strainers, and cloths. The wall behind them has been smoked to brown. A narrow window above the counter faces the slope. Frost covers its corners in silver ferns. Through the clear center, a small shrine roof shows under snow. Its bell cord hangs straight down. The bell itself is hidden beneath the eave. A ridge path vanishes behind it. Snow rounds the stones at the foot of that post. A square wooden box sits under the basin shelf. It contains split kindling wrapped in old rice paper. The paper has been tied with cotton thread. Beside the box, a ceramic jar stores dried yuzu peel. The lid fits imperfectly. A bright citrus note escapes when the room warms. The stone basin takes a weak reflection from the lamp. Water trembles there without spilling. The ladle across the rim makes a clean bridge. On the narrow counter, a tea caddy waits open. Powdered leaves darken the bottom. The inside of the lid shows a green thumbprint. A whisk rests in a shallow bowl nearby. Its bamboo tines spread like pale grass. A single droplet clings between two of them. The droplet gathers the room upside down. Hearth glow, paper panel, a blue strip of lake. Then the droplet slides into the bowl. The image breaks into a dull circle. Steam draws the scent back toward the main room. At the main hearth, the kettle begins a softer murmur. Small beads travel around its lid. They join near the hinge and vanish. The chain above gives a slight metallic touch. It is not a ring. It is only iron settling inside heat. The cushions around the hearth are low and square. Their cloth has a matte winter texture. The repaired seam on the third cushion curves like a short path. Across the room, the scroll branch seems darker now. Firelight gives the paper a warmer ground. The painted twig points toward the lake. The pine needles below it cast thinner shadows. The fallen needle on the ledge has rolled a little. Its pointed end faces the hearth. Outside, moonlight broadens across the ice. The crack far out appears and disappears. Wind-blown snow slides over it in faint sheets. The lake makes no open water sound. It gives only pressure and distance. Those things enter through the panels as blue hush. A mountain ridge rises beyond the far shore. Its upper line is clear. Lower slopes dissolve into snowfall. At the room's left side, a low rack holds folded blankets. Gray wool, brown wool. One blanket with a narrow cream border. A cedar chest rests below the rack. Its lid carries marks from metal teapots. The front latch has been polished to a dull gold. Above the chest, a calendar hangs from a wooden peg. The month shows a lake festival long past. Only the moon phase marks have fresh ink. A kettle hook casts a long shadow across the calendar. It touches 3 dates. Then the fire lowers and the shadow withdraws. The ledger near the cabinet has a cloth ribbon sewn into the spine. The ribbon lies between 2 pages. One page records clear weather. The next records heavy snow. Several names repeat in different winters. A monk from the past temple. A courier from the valley. A woman carrying silk thread. Their journeys have moved beyond the room. The brush, ledger, and ink rest together. The tea house stores only their small marks. Beside the ledger, a carved tray holds coins left for tea. Copper rounds sit beside two dull silver pieces. A folded paper charm rests under one coin. The charm has been stamped with a mountain shrine seal. Red ink fills the tiny square. Its edges have softened from pockets and snow. At the front panels, frost thickens along the lower frame. It grows in delicate feathers. Each feather points toward the colder lake. Lamp warmth clears a narrow band above the frost. Through that band, the shore stones can be seen. They look rounded and black against the ice. The porch lantern gives the nearest snow a honey color. Beyond its reach, the world turns silver. The tea house sits exactly between them. Another gust slips down from the ridge. The eaves release a small fall of powder. It lands below the porch rail with a soft hush. Inside, the paper panels quiver at their edges. The cups on the lacquer tray do not touch. The bowl at the center of the table holds a ring of heat. The ring fades slowly in the glaze. Green returns first near the rim. Then the darker center opens beneath the steam. The fire settles lower in the ash. The kettle continues its quiet work. Tea scent, cedar smoke, and lake cold meet in the room. Before dawn, the snow stops on the ridge. The frozen lake turns pale beneath the stars. Inside the tea house, the last coals breathe. A thin gold line rests under the kettle. Morning has not reached the pass road. Only the ice has changed color. The room receives that change through paper and wood. The porch lantern burns lower under the eaves. Its flame has shortened inside cloudy glass. Snow around the post holds a soft amber stain. The sign above the porch is easier to read now. Wind has cleared one painted stroke. Meltwater has frozen again along the lower edge. On the threshold tray, the straw sandals look darker from the warm room. Their crossed fibers show in fine detail. A single wet mark has dried near the heel. The entrance boards lead inward to the mats. Every plank carries a smooth middle strip. The edges near the walls are rougher and pale. In the main room, the tatami seams grow visible. Straight lines divide the floor into quiet fields. The cushions sit around the hearth like low islands. The indigo cloth has lost its fire glow. Dawn makes it cool and soft. The repaired seam turns almost white. Ash in the hearth has folded over the charcoal. Red shows only where air finds a small channel. The kettle hangs above that narrow heat. Steam rises more slowly now. It gathers under the iron handle. Then it leaves in a thin gray strand. The stoneware bowl has cooled at the rim. A trace of green tea dries along one side. The bamboo scoop lies beside it on linen. The linen stain looks nearly black in dawn. Its woven threads are clear. One loose fiber curls toward the tray. On the lacquer tray, 3 cups gather pale light. Their rims are no longer amber. They hold the color of ice seen through paper. The scroll in the alcove becomes quieter in the morning. Ink branch, open paper, cedar ledge. The fallen pine needle lies below it. Its shadow has shortened. The vase beside it has a small chip near the foot. Jars on the corner shelves become readable again. Mountain barley, roasted green tea, snow chrysanthemum. Red string crosses the brown paper lids. One knot has slid toward the label. Another has tightened into a hard little bead. The cabinet door still sits uneven in its track. The hollowed handle shows a crescent of smooth wood. Dust has gathered in the lower groove. In the preparation nook, the stone basin reflects the paling window. The ladle across it casts a dark bar. Water beneath the bar looks deeper than the stone. The tea caddy lid has been set beside the open tin. Green powder marks the inner rim. The thumbprint inside the lid has faded into shadow. The whisk in its bowl has dried at the tips. Bamboo tines bend outward with great care. A faint tea scent lifts when the nook warms. Near the back shelf, a row of tea cloths dries on a cedar rail. They are folded over the wood in equal lengths. One cloth is pale blue. Another carries 2 mended corners. The third is plain white and almost transparent. Below the rail, a mortar stands with its pestle inside. The stone lip has dark green dust in the groove. A shallow dish beside it holds toasted rice. Each grain is rounded by steam and night air. At the small window, frost has thinned near the center. A shrine roof shows beyond the glass. Its bell cord drops from the eave. Dawn touches the cord before the bell. The slope behind it is soft beneath clean, new snow. Outside the panels, the lake spreads wider in first light. Blue leaves the hollows. Pearl gray takes the polished ice. The crack far out becomes a hairline curve. The ice carries only blue distance. A faint wind combs its surface. The lake belongs to cold and distance. Pines along the shore show each separate branch. Snow caps the needles in uneven rows. The leaning tree touches the roofline with its dark shape. Across the room, the blanket rack waits in clean order. Gray wool at the